Apparently her sister was murdered a few years ago, Granum said.
Crosswhite, Nolasco sat forward. That was the name of that girl went missing in that town up in the North Cascades.
Cedar Grove, Decker said. They never found her. They convicted the guy, though. First-degree murder charge. First time without a body.
So, what do her references say? Nolasco asked. Is she some sort of crusader?
No, nothing like that. Just that the murder could be the reason for her sudden desire to enter law enforcement, Granum said.
We've had a few before, Decker said.
Maybe she's legit. If not, she'll wash out. Anybody opposed to bringing her in for an interview?
Like I said, I can think of worse things to spend an hour looking at, Nolasco said. Chapter 2. Johnny Nolasco looked like a rooster strutting, his chest puffed out, shoulders pulled back, neck elongated. Decker thought Nolasco might try to mount Tracy Crosswhite right there in the conference room, and was relieved when Nolasco only shook her hand. After introductions, Decker, Nolasco, and Granum returned to their seats behind the table at the front of the room. Decker sat in the middle. Crosswhite took the hot seat, a lone chair in the center of the room. If she was intimidated, she didn't show it. Decker immediately sensed something different about her. Unlike the other women they'd interviewed, Crosswhite hadn't tried to hide her femininity beneath pants or a loose button-down shirt. She wore a black skirt cut just above the knee, a beige blouse, pearls, earrings, and makeup. She'd left her hair, which fell past her shoulders, down, rather than pulled back into a ponytail or tight bun. Nolasco had gotten one thing right. She wasn't bad to look at. Better than not bad. Decker's wife would never let him have a partner who looked like that.
"Thank you for coming in," Decker said.
"Thank you for the opportunity to interview," she said.
"Well, that's probably our first question," Granum said. "Why are you here?"
As the officer who had performed Crosswhite's background check, Granum would take the lead. "To become a Seattle police officer," Crosswhite said, without hesitation.
"You suddenly disenchanted with being a high school chemistry teacher?" Granum asked.
"No, sir."
"Because the pay won't be much better," Decker said.
"Are the benefits, some of the benefits?" Nolasco grinned.
"I'm not doing it for the money," Crosswhite said. "Why are you doing it?" Decker asked.
"For the challenge." "You think you can cut it physically?" Nolasco said.
"The physical challenge, absolutely.
I was talking about the mental challenge. I have an inquisitive mind. I have good people skills. I think I'd be a good detective."
"Detective? Aren't you getting ahead of yourself a bit?" Decker asked.
"That's my goal, sir. Homicide detective." "She wants my job," Nolasco interrupted. "I better watch out for this one." Decker shot him a glance, hoping Nolasco would get the hint and shut up.
"You realize homicide is the top of the food chain, that it can take years, decades, before you're even considered."
"I have time," she said.
"Seattle's never had a female homicide detective. Did you know that?" Granum asked.
"Then I intend to be the first." "The hours, the stress, the demands of the job," Nolasco said. "What are you going to do if you get pregnant?" Decker cringed. "What do the men do?" Crosswhite asked. Nolasco's brow furrowed. Decker couldn't keep the corners of his mouth from inching into a grin. He liked this candidate. He liked her a lot. "I'm not interested in having a family," Crosswhite said. "What if that changes?" Nolasco said. "What if you get a boyfriend and he gets you pregnant?" "Then he can stay home and take care of the baby," Crosswhite said. Decker raised his right hand, cutting off Nolasco. He sat forward, arms resting on the table.
"We've been through your references," he said, "and we're curious."
"You want to know why I don't have references from any family members? Would you like me to explain?"
"Please."
"My sister and father are dead. My sister was abducted a little over 3 years ago. They never found her body. A paroled rapist was convicted of her murder. 2 years after that, my father took his life.